I don't want to take much time. For one, when the organizers came up to me and discussed about this issue and says that and told me that sir, we are organizing this kind of conference and we will discuss about the issues around Umiam. I was so excited. I truly was, because it's an issue that hits my mind and my conscience every time I pass through the lake or the reservoir. And I've always wanted to figure out ways, and somehow the thing looked so complicated that where do we start? I couldn't figure out where to start, and I knew that I was in a way in control of certain areas which I could do something, and I have been trying to work on that. But somehow I knew that it was something that was beyond just me or one department or just the government, and truly it is a stakeholder approach that needed to be done, and I'm so grateful to the organizers for having done this. I was asked, do you want to be here for the inaugural session or do you want to be here for the closing session and thinking? I said, no, I want to be there when you think and when you conclude, because I want to learn something from what you discuss. And the idea of preserving what we have, I think is great. I really wish I could have stayed from the morning and listened to all of you speak about all the things that you have talked. But just a few points that I wanted to mention from my side. Really, it's a point from my personal side. You guys are much more experienced, much more qualified to really speak on the core issues that are there. I can only give a general person's perspective, and of course, from one point, government's perspective also. I think I'd like to start off with the basic talk about the awareness and the training. And I think, ultimately, when you talk of stakeholders being involved, that is the key. Why do we want stakeholders to be involved? We want them to be involved because ultimately there is a thought process, there is a thinking that we have in mind, there is a goal we have in mind, and ultimately this has to trickle down all the way to the grassroots stakeholders. And that is why I feel that when you talk about awareness and training, I wanted to be a part of that. Now, it's a very tough job because, as I said, this, I don't know the gentleman who's got the camera, who's trying to shoot me with the camera. As he said correctly, I love that chart that he had at the end, and that is exactly what we need. I mean, when in the beginning, when the presentation was going on, slideshow, I was thinking, I think this is going to end with another, talk and another discussion, everybody giving their views and acting, as if we are all participating, and ultimately nothing happens. But when he talked about the fact that, yes, these are the people who are involved in it, these are the areas we're going to work on, these are the guys who are going to do it, and this is the timeline that is involved, and that is what we require. So same for training and awareness camp. I think we need to develop a real concrete plan in that. I don't know what help we can give from the government. We are more than ready to give that. So this area is a special area for me, and I would like to, obviously, when you have a complete detailed plan worked out, then I would like to be part of that and discuss about the training and the awareness. Now, I can tell you one thing as not as power minister, but as tourism minister. You see, I have a plan where I'm going to choose about 6 to 7 locations which are going to act as USPs for the state. So I don't think it's correct for the state government to spread out the resources in general, especially when it comes to tourism. In other areas, yes, we should spread out resources. But when it comes to tourism, I believe that we should stick to 5 or 6 locations, develop them as USPs, unique selling points, and go into developing it in a very aggressive manner. My proposal is that I plan to take up Umiam as one of them, because I obviously feel that this is a great tourist destination that we have, and it's very close to Shillong, and it has its beauty, and we can really do a lot with it. My proposal is that in the coming years, we plan to set aside a certain amount of money for developing Umiam as a USP. And that means that, from beautifying it to all the way to preserving it. So whichever body or this association or whatever you'll have that is going to work at this, I think should work with my department, tourism, so that we budget a certain section of this amount that we have for development of Umiam as a USP, a certain amount, maybe 30% or 40% of the budget that we have, should go towards preserving it, because that is what is required. You see, I happen to also hold power. I'm of the opinion that I hope in the coming 10 to 15 years we will not have to use Umiam Lake for production or for producing power. That is what I hope. Right now we only depend on Umiam. It's overloaded. I want to keep it as a hardcore, tourist destination. Now you talked about a lot of things about, the water, the contaminated water coming in, and the silting that is taking place. Have you traveled in the morning at 4 o'clock from Guwahati to Shillong? You will notice that there is a nice, fog on top. And suddenly you look at it and you think, wow, so beautiful, so nice, and this fog or whatever you call it. And I've experienced it twice. I had to leave for my constituency at 4 in the morning. So by the time I reached at about Umiam, about 4:35, maybe a bit later, I think 5:30. So I saw this fog there, and I was just looking at the track, backtracking it, and it was coming out from the industrial area that was near Umiam. That was not the fog, obviously, it was the smoke from the cement plants that are there. I think that is one issue that you missed out, maybe. I feel that you should look at that. And the industrial unit, we should not allow any more expansion of these kind of industrial units around Umiam, because that is spoiling. And if you would take the chopper, anytime in the morning, like you go from Shillong to Guwahati, or you're coming by flight, sometimes from other side, in Impala or something, you will see that blanket. You will see that blanket of smoke. And that, I'm telling you, is really dangerous. That is one area I hope you include it. And I have been very aggressive with the government from my side, from Industries Department, saying that no more expansion of cement plants in Umiam area. In fact, no more of these heavy industries to be put up in Umiam area. Umiam area must be used as a total tourist destination. As I said, from a power side also, I intend to stop. Once we have enough other options, I intend to stop using that. Coming to what MSCB, I feel sorry for them, and I'm part of it also. The kind of language they have to hear and the kind of pressure they have to go through. But let me again be a bit on their side. MSCB is doing a lot. They have a tough situation. I know it firsthand. We do go through a lot of difficulties introducing power. There are maybe some areas where we could improve. No doubt that Umiam is under a lot of pressure. What Mr. Naba has been saying, what others have been saying, may be true, It's our job to find out the truth. So I think MSCB will be acting with a very open mind. These points coming in may be true, may not be true, but our responsibility as a department, as a government, is to ensure that we don't take anything lightly. And if this is coming to us from people who know what they're doing, I think it's our duty to make sure that there is no problem as such. Because as they said, if something were to go wrong, it's going to be quite a scary, scary affair.